Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. This podcast is being sponsored by Get Loopy. On episode 41, you can hear the story of Isabel, the co-founder and CEO. Get Loopy, get a 20% discount off your first order. GetLoopy.com. Take it from the Ironwoman. Again, we only have very special guests, and today is Dan with us. Hello, Dan. Introduce yourself. Where do we know each other from?
Well, hi, Suzanne. We know each other because I wrote your plan for your Ironman in Lake Placid.
So that was, 6 years ago, probably.
6 years ago, I was your coach for that period of time. What a moment that was.
Special moment and a successful moment, I have to say. So thank you again. This was really a special time for me. I know you're not only doing Ironman coaching, you do something really special. So we want to hear from you. What is happening in your life that the audience want to learn?
Along with many of your fellow friends who are on your podcast, we all participate in races, and whether they're Ironmans or halves or marathons or whatever. And a lot of our goals have always been just to complete, have a great race experience, enjoy the moment. And over the years, I've taken my racing to another element where I've formed a small charity for my brother. And now my races have even more of a special meaning than just crossing the finish line for me. My brother is mentally disabled from birth, and he lives in a group home in New Orleans where I was born and raised. And after Hurricane Katrina, there was heavy damage to the area, as we all know, and we are still rebuilding to this day, enormous amount of time, and we're still having issues. So for a very small window of my life, I just try to do what I can. And we have a few friends and myself, and we do as many races as possible. And the goal is every mile that we run, we do it for him. And whether it's a short race of a 5K, it doesn't matter. It's a mile for him. And it just gives me something to look forward to, as opposed to just my ego crossing the finish line. It gives me another added push when those moments come, when you hit that wall, and you know that wall very well, and you, especially Placid, when you hit those bears and you think, I cannot do this anymore. And then you have that notion in the back of your head, it's not about you. It's not about you. So it's changed my racing completely.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And for the listeners, it's called Run for Rob. I want to make sure that everybody knows Run for Rob. It's a fantastic organization, and you have dedicated so many hours to that. And you just said it. It's not about us. And we're donating, we're giving back, and another person can benefit who cannot do what we are doing. And it's also something that we like to do. So I think it's, at least for me, it's much easier to donate my time, my miles. So Run for Rob. Tell us, how did that come about? Obviously to help your brother.
Yes, my brother was in a facility that was more of a hospital setting. He was born, and it was very, of course, he was very well taken care of, but to live in a hospital brick building is not what you want for your life. And about 2 years before Katrina, my family and I were able to acquire a spot in a group home, and it's very, very difficult to be positioned in. And where he is now is in a wonderful little house in
Mm-hmm.
a neighborhood with a big backyard, and he has his own bedroom, and it's only 5 residents. That's it. It's just him and 5 residents, as opposed to him where he was in this big hospital ward that was very clinical. And now he's in a true home setting, and it's wonderful. But funding for these facilities are very, very tight, extremely tight. So his medical care is taken care of, which is wonderful, and things of that nature. But when Hurricane Katrina hit, a tree had fallen and busted up the driveway, which prevented the van from being able to drive right up to the door. And the residents, my brother included, who were very unstable, could not walk to the van without proper care because they could fall over the broken concrete and things of that nature. And these elements are not taken care of by the state. We have to pay for those sort of elements ourselves.
The extras.
And that was the catalyst of me saying, okay, this has got to change. What can we do? I unfortunately don't have unlimited amount of funds to just say, here's a check, which I wish I could, but I don't. And that's how Run for Rob came about. We said, listen, if I can walk to the front door, so can he. And if I can run the mile, we're going to make sure that he can. And it eventually grew little by little over the years. And we've since repaved the driveway. We were able to get a generator for the house. We were able to get a little small of a fund that covered some little outings for them. I mean, we're not talking huge funding, but just enough to make the day a little better.
Yeah.
You know, just a little better for them. And if I can just push myself to see that finish line coming forward and know, oh my gosh, if I finish this race, this is what he's going to get to do.
Yeah.
And it makes my racing all worthwhile.
I think so. And how old is he now?
He just had a birthday and he is 48. So he has outlived everyone immensely. He's a much older brother than I, and he's just rocking and rolling and doing well. So happy for him. And so that's why I try to register for as many races as I possibly can. I always try to do one big triathlon a year and a lot of sporadic, fun. Oh, we do a lot of the obstacle course races, which are great fun because I'm a kid at heart and like to get dirty and crawl in mud. And we do a lot of the stair climbs. So the Empire State Building and the World Trade Center. Those I think are the most for me because I picture every single step. Every single step is a goal. And if we can reach the pinnacle, the very, very top, that's just everything. It's the best.
It is the best. And can he come with you to the races if you do it locally, or that's not possible?
No, unfortunately, he's pretty severe, nonverbal. He has very limited eyesight. He's structured very well. But when his routine is comfortable and it's followed, he is very great, and he's at his home and home setting and very well taken care of, and I'm very grateful. But he's unfortunately he can't come. But I will say he does have photographs all over. I've plastered his bedroom with photographs of our races and us and his Run for Rob gear and things of that nature. So at least people see it.
Okay. And I want to say, if you follow Run for Rob, you see stuff like those pictures. And I've also seen a picture with him. So it's really uplifting to see what can be done. And if we take one step, it's one step for Rob. So I always say one step at a time, one day at a time. And certainly we can help tremendously.
Right. And I always say to anyone who asks me, do I appreciate donations? Yes. Do I ask for them? No. I just want you to find what is it that makes you want to cross that finish line. This is what makes me want to. And there's got to be something for you where you can say, I'm doing this for either myself, or I'm doing this for a family member, or I'm doing this to help someone else. Because the goal is help those in need. And if you can do that by racing.
And I always have more questions. So can we get the gear like Run for Rob? Can we get the t-shirt and the hat, or how is that going?
Yes, we do. On the website, there's a little place you can send me an email and I could send you a t-shirt. Now, I will say TYR, who I have a friend who works for there, they have accepted us as one of their charity companies. So we're hoping to get gear produced. Those are things that cost a lot of money. So we're looking for donations for that kind of. Yeah. So the goal is, as you said, it's just opening the eyes to everyone that it's not just a 5K, which is great. And if it's your first 5K and it's your goal, please focus on your goal and complete it, because it'll change your life. But once you reach a status where you and I are, sometimes you need something else, just one little something else to push you over that finish line.
Yeah, I think so. And whoever has ever been in Central Park when they have the race, the Achilles Hope and Possibilities, I would invite everybody, even if you're not participating, and obviously now with the virtual races, it's not possible, but just go and see. And to me, it's always amazing to see the enthusiasm that you see in the people who are participating, who have a disability. And actually a disability means they're just differently abled. So I think we need to also change our vision and definition of disability.
Absolutely. If you have a challenge, one of the things I appreciate so much is when I watch the Achilles group or see my brother, you leave knowing, if I complain about anything, then I am a horrible person, because we can put our feet in front of each other and we can continue running, we can continue cycling, we can continue swimming. And guess what? So can they. And a lot of those, I got to tell you, I helped Achilles once and was just dumbfounded at the speed. Somebody, and they just smoked me. And I'm not a fast runner at all. And I was so proud and so just taken aback. And it just tells you have nothing to complain about.
I have to say, I was running with a visually impaired person, and I know he's faster than I am. So we certainly have nothing to complain about. And I also know that sometimes we say, I have to go and run, except we need to change that in, I get to run. So it's an honor that we can run. And also it's an honor that we can run for Rob.
Absolutely. What a great way of saying it. I mean, that's one of the focal points. A lot of people in their training get to a point sometimes where they get bogged down. Oh, I don't want to go train. I don't want to do this. It's cold outside. It's rainy. I ran yesterday. I'm not. And then you have that secondary thought where you think, again, it's not about me. And I can go outside and I can do that 5K. And yes, it'll be tough. And yes, it'll hurt. But when it's over, I can hold my head up high and go, not only did I do my 5K, I helped my brother, or I helped my sister, or I helped someone at Achilles who needed a partner, or whatever it might be. It does. And then the next day, you're so excited to go out and run again. You can't wait.
That's what we all want. I think that's what we want to strive for. Run for Rob. This is the way to go. And any donation is welcomed. Check on the website. We have all the information in the show notes. So thank you, Dan. And we wish you good luck. And more so your brother, that he's happy and healthy in his place where he is, where he can have some fun.
This is great. So great to see you too, Suzanne, Miss Ironwoman. So proud.
Wow, how cool was that? Dan is always an inspiration. I was so lucky to have him as a coach to help me get through Ironman in Lake Placid. And Run for Rob. Make sure you check Run for Rob, and also Run for Rob. You can sign up for races, and he said we can get t-shirts and hats. Let's see. Take It From the Ironwoman. Take It From the Ironwoman is also a book on Amazon as an ebook or a paperback. We have episodes every Monday and Wednesday. And don't forget, Get Loopy, getloopy.com, the plant-based snack. It's healthy, it's delicious, it's great. Get 20% off of your first order.